Hello, everybody. Welcome to a crash course on Loot Soldier. Fix your posture and listen up for these hard-hitting facts. And don't you think for 1 second that... All right, I'm just kidding. Sorry about that, but not really. Since Risk of Rain 2 released on consoles, and along with the launch of the Skills 2.0 update, I've gotten quite a few recurring questions on my videos and stream, twitch.tv/Woolie Gaming, by the way. The most common of which being, any tips on building X character, or what are the best items for X? While there are examples of some items being better on some survivors over others, such as focus crystals on melee characters, or the iconic Fungus and Nukahana's combo on Engineer, these are very few and far between the multitudes of items that are in the game. Let's talk about why that is. What makes loot in Risk of Rain 2 good? What defines the good stuff on each survivor? The first point is probably the most obvious, its effect. What the item actually does upon picking it up. At most points in a run, my priority list for an item type is number 1, damage, number 2, mobility, number 3, healing, and lastly, health or defense. Obviously, there are times where I'd want to grab some healing over damage and etc., but for the most part, damage effects are top priority. If you kill everything before it has a chance to even think about attacking you, what's the point in grabbing mobility, healing, or defense? Mobility is more important than healing because if you can avoid getting hit in the first place, healing won't have much of a use. Also, getting around the map faster is pretty good too. However, chances are that your elite pro gamer G Fuel quick scoping 420 Blazer skills will not prevent you from ever getting hit, which is why getting a suitable amount of healing is also key. Finally, as the current meta of playing around one-shot protection dictates, getting additional health and defense isn't really necessary for a good run. In fact, it's actually better to have less health because the majority of healing in the game is applied at a flat value, meaning it will be more effective the less health you have. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, don't worry, check out this video I made covering all the details of one-shot protection, link in the description below. Going off the type of item alone, however, will not accurately dictate its overall effectiveness. There is another aspect, one that is far more important: consistency. To me, this factor alone is what separates good items from mediocre or straight up bad ones. In a game where there is very little to no downtime past the first couple minutes, you need your items to be consistent. The more frequently its effects happen, the more power you get out of it and the better your run becomes. Now, there are multiple factors in shaping the overall consistency of a given item. How many stacks of it do you have? What are the numeric values of its damage, healing, chance to proc, etc.? But I'm talking about the big picture here. How consistent is the effect of the item? Take War Banner, for example. It provides a nice 30% attack and movement speed buff in an area, which grows in size per stack. As long as you stay in the area, you get the buff, and the area persists until you leave the stage. On paper, it seems like a pretty consistent item. You don't need multiple stacks of it because the attack and movement speed values don't go up. You don't need to worry about how often the buff is up because as long as you stand inside the area, you have the buff. But in reality, you do have to worry about how often the buff is up because of the item's effect. It procs on leveling up. In the first few stages, you will be leveling up all the time. However, past the first 3 stages and especially the first loop, leveling up becomes a rarity, meaning that the seemingly consistent effect of the item is actually anything but. Let's use another example, and this one is the source of quite a bit of flack that comes my way: Dio's best friend. This is the definition of an inconsistent effect. You may be thinking, what? How is that inconsistent? If you die, you come back to life. It's as simple as that. How could that possibly be a bad thing? And to that I say, are you kidding me, son? Did I really just hear those words come out of your sorry excuse for a mouth? But no, really. Think about Dio's best friend like this: it only does something when you die, and as soon as you die, it goes right back to doing nothing. And when I say nothing, I do mean literally nothing. The gray item that Dios turns into once it's used up doesn't even count as a white item, and it cannot be printed or traded away for anything else. Now, this is not meant to be me ragging on Dios and how I don't think it's a useful item. The point is this: you want your items to at least have the chance of doing something all the time. Especially as the rarity of the item goes up, you kind of want their consistency to do the same. Generally, the most consistent effects will be the ones that proc on your attack hits. You're basically always in combat with something and hitting it with a plethora of things, so on-hit effects reign king in 99% of situations. Here's the big picture. Read the item's effect. I'll include a link to the wiki page listing every single item in the description, by the way. What are the conditions for its effect to occur? Is it a variable chance, or is it guaranteed to happen once a certain criteria is met? What is the criteria? All of these factors play into how consistent and overall how good an item is in general. Now that we know what makes an item good in general, let's talk about how to find ones that are good on a specific survivor. The short answer is this: everything can can be used on everyone. That does not mean that everything is the same strength on everyone, but rather that you shouldn't really care about what exactly to get on a given survivor, just what you should be getting in general. There are no builds in this game because there's simply no way to guarantee certain items over others. Everything is random and differs from run to run. In fact, even if there was a way to guarantee a build, mine wouldn't really differ based on who I'm playing. It would just be capped crit with as many ATGs, ukuleles, and will-o-the-wisps as I could possibly get. Boom, there's your build. I'm not saying all this to discourage experimentation or critical thought on min-maxing your favorite survivor, just to drive home the good items are good on everybody point. So I could go into details on every survivor and tell you what is more effective on them, but I already have all of that info in my character guides. Check out the playlist for a guide to every survivor in the description below if you want those details. And that pretty much does it with all the info I wanted to cover on loot. What are your thoughts? Do you think I'm totally wrong on deos or have any other things that you want to discuss? Leave a comment below and don't make me get the drill sergeant back out. Consider following my stream over at twitch.tv/Woolie Gaming if you want to see me play it live, and consider joining our Discord server as well for a place to hang out, find people to play with, etc. Thank you for watching.